Eventually, all practices and all teachings will fall away. It's like the parable of using a boat to get to the other side of the river and then leaving the boat to go forward, not carrying it on your back. When we begin to see through thoughts and see thoughts for what they are, truly, it's like a snowball effect. There's a momentum of realizing that concepts are only concepts. They're only fleeting symbols. Natural survival mechanism for this animal to navigate the world. It's a practical tool that has run amok, and we have taken to be reality. We have mistaken thoughts for reality, naturally. We can have dread for the future and regret for the past. We can be in utter hell while we're laying in bed with a full stomach, comfortable and cozy with no actual problems. We can torment ourselves with stories, with it should be this way, or it should be that way, or I should be this way and I shouldn't be that way. There should be more clarity. I'm getting close. I'm becoming something. But when we begin to see through thoughts, there can be a visceral fear, because the structure of comfort that we built around ourselves with concepts is crumbling. And it can feel like a falling feeling when this belief structure begins to crumble. And we see that the self is nothing more than a belief system. It's a thought, a habitual thought that I am. But there's no evidence for that. The thought that I am is a fleeting, ephemeral symbol. It's nothing. It arises and falls. It's a grasping mechanism, because truly we don't want to know that we don't exist. We don't want to know that we don't know. As seekers on the path, we're moving towards something that we don't understand, and no one understands it. We're moving towards something that can't be moved towards, because it's everything and nothing. What so-called enlightenment is the ability to see through thoughts and belief systems, which is a natural happening that no one does, because someone is a thought that's believed. Everything is a thought that's believed. And that's why it said that everything falls. Concepts. They're just fleeting symbols, having nothing to do with what's actual. We don't actually know anything. We don't know I am here and you are there. We don't know what happened or what will happen. All of that is concepts. We have conceptualized the entire world in order to know it, to feel like we know what it is, and pacify ourselves in this free fall, this unknowable free fall. That's what this is, this thing that we search for, the so-called end of suffering. It's the end of continuity. Thoughts are free to arise, but there's no belief in them. You don't even know that you don't know. Nothing can be said. And everything that can be said, the opposite can also be said to be true. All truth is relative, which means there is no truth. Absolute truth cannot be spoken. It can't be conceived of, not by anybody. No one knows more than you right now. No one. Seeking is not for the sake of finding. Seeking is for the sake of seeking. Just like questions are not for the sake of answers. They're for the sake of questions, for the innocent appearance of seeking and questions. They don't lead to answers or truth. It leads to exhaustion and realizing that nothing is known. Nothing can be grasped. This thing that we're searching for, that we think exists, called enlightenment, the truth, it doesn't exist. And anytime we heard it spoken about, it's nothing more than a concept. This thing, this, it can't be pointed to, even by the best speaker in the world. All words and all concepts fall short. We hold mind and thoughts and concepts and language on this pedestal. We're deeply conditioned to do so. We believe that it's power to manipulate the world, to strategize and learn. But it's a tool that's very practical, but it has limits. And it's very limited when it comes to searching for something that doesn't exist, like truth. Because anything that can be said is relative and isn't truth at all. And that which we may call absolute truth can't be touched with words and concepts. So all teachings will drop. And when they do, we are left with the clarity of what simply is. Which isn't a truth, not one that can be conceived of. This is in between the lines, in between the polarities. The last place we want to look. This place of terror that we don't want to approach, not without our precious concepts. But what is left is unknowing. And that can't even be known. The nothingness, the emptiness, and the unknowing is so utterly all-encompassing that we can't even call it empty or unknowing, because we simply don't know.